The old man mumbled that young Longting, the Lord of Yuzhu, seemed to be such a heroic figure that he was not retreating in the war against the Ring tribe and wiped out 100,000 enemies. He guessed that the people around the world today said that he was the war god in the empire. The old man continued that countless literary talents generously wrote about him, even in songs of singers, and in the mouths of the tea-house narrator you could hear his heroic wonder. As he brushed his beard, the old man mumbled that he heard that the palace was willing to erect a monument to Yang Longting on King Niu Mountain so that future generations could remember the deeds of the king of Yuzhou. Gao Feihu and his men were enraged, saying that Yang Longting was such a coward, as he only knew how to flee when he saw the rings, and never fought a battle. While the others cursed at Yang Longting, as they had done those things, Cheng Dalei chimed in that Yang Longting was greedy enough to take credit for their work, and since it was not clear to the palace, he would find a way to tell them and not let the coward be hailed as a hero. The old man believed that there was no point if he wanted to explain it to the palace. Cheng Dalei questioned why it was pointless. The old man sighed and said that Cheng Dalei was giving him the impression that he really knew nothing about the policy of the government. He asked him if he thought that he would receive the government's reward if he won a battle, as he claimed that it was not like that. The old man informed him that the policy of the government was far more complex than he could imagine, and so the same thing could produce a completely different result for different people. For example, the Northwest General Lin Wenchen, he fought the Ring tribe and refused to retreat, and eventually ran out of food, causing him to be unfortunately defeated. But he was considered a disgrace to the kingdom, and instead of dying by the rings, General Lin was executed in the palace, and his grave was spat upon after his death. The old man asked if anyone really knew what Yang Longting was. He disagreed, and it's something that many people didn't even want to know. And as long as the people around Emperor Ming said one thing, that Lord of Yuzhu fought well. Cheng Dalei was contemplating as he listened to what the old man was saying, that countless people would benefit from this, and those who benefit will hold Yang Longting up as the god of war of the empire. He questioned Cheng Dalei's identity, as he was just a mountain bandit that didn't fit in anywhere. The old man asked who could benefit from his victories. When he said he fought the war, they would say that was a mountain bandit who also wanted to compete with the merits of the god of war of the empire, and they asked how low he was. He concluded that a lost battle could become a won battle, and a coward could become a war hero, and that now Yang Longting has become the idol of the imperial soldiers and has been given a higher rank. But many people in Yuzhou knew that he actually was nothing to do with the contribution made by a mountain bandit named Cheng Dalei. As the old man pointed at Cheng Dalei, he said that if Yang Longting wanted to have a good time, he had to control this mountain bandit. And there were two ways to control him. One was to make him one of yourself, but he knew that this mountain bandit was clearly not a master of obedience. As the old man was about to say another method, Cheng Dalei's face darkened as he added that it was to kill him, to which the man agreed. Cheng Dalei clasped both his hands, thanking the old man for his guidance, saying that he couldn't thank him enough for his kindness, as he also asked the Taoist master to show them again which path they should take next. The master closed his eyes and paused. He began muttering Cheng Dalei's name, suddenly raised his staff, saying that he had just hit him really hard. The staff struck Cheng Dalei's head, turning his face dark. The master sighed as he felt much better now. Concerned, Gao Feihu and the others called for their village master, while the other men asked the master what he was doing. Cheng Dalei's hands trembled and he told his men not to be rude to the Taoist master. He mumbled that if it had not been for the Taoist master today, he would still be living in a dream, and had made his men jump into the fire with him without anything. Cheng Dalei called the Taoist master again, clasping both of his hands, asking him for guidance for the subordinate to unravel a secret. The master said that he would tell him more. He informed him that the front of Yuzhou had done splendidly, and all the city lords were trying to collect the benefits. So the Lord of Yuzhou was by no means the only one who wanted to kill him. The master started drawing on the ground and said the first thing was that Yuzhou's army was waiting in ambush near the Rain and Wind Pavilion for him to fall into their trap, while the Fallen Leaf City, Keisha City, Beizhen City, Tea City, and other forces with a large army surrounded and blocked the surrounding terrain. As most of the official roads were blocked, the master continued that the entire Yuzhou would be the hunting ground for rounding up all of them. He suggested that they should all split up and go into the woods to hide from pursuers, or by water to the south side of the river, or by mountain trails to other states. And someone had to break the encirclement and keep the larger group at bay. The master said that King Niu Mountain was a complex terrain that had not yet been blocked by the big army, and there was still a chance to go today. He added that it was better for them to set out early before the army arrived. Gao Fei, who told Cheng Dalea that they shouldn't go and should be afraid of them and should kill them in a fight as they had chased the Ring tribe away. Cheng Dalea responded that they couldn't fight, now that the whole Yuzhu army was ready to kill them, and that those people didn't have the guts to fight the Ring tribe. But they had a lot of guts to fight their own people. He told his men to listen up and said that they couldn't escape with their large numbers together, so they had to evacuate separately. He ordered them not to leave anyone behind if they could, and that those who could fight would take the weak ones with them. Cheng Dalea called Gao Fei Hu and Gao Fei Bao and ordered them to take 100 people disguised as refugees and retreated to the mountain forest. Next, he called Huang Sanyuan and said to take 300 people back to the mountain fortress and distribute the dry food in the mountain fortress, and spread out to leave from Qingniu Mountain, to which Huang Sanyuan agreed. Cheng Dalea warned them that it was now the territory of the Ring tribe, asking them to beware of the Ring troops. He proceeded to order Xiao Bailan to use the water route and go to Jiangnan, taking with her the Su family and Liu family, which she also agreed to. Concerned, Su Ying called for Cheng Dalea. Liu Jihan added, mumbling as she knew what Cheng Dalea was doing but was interrupted, as Cheng Dalea ordered his men to bring him his weapon while he commanded them to take what way. Liu Jihan clenched her fist and closed her eyes. She took the courage to speak and called for him as she charged at him with teary eyes. Sobbing, Liu Jihan hugged him and told him that they had just finished the war. While watching the events, Xiao Bailan and Su Ying blushed as they listened to what Liu Jihan said, asking Cheng Dalea if he wanted to leave them again and take risks himself. Cheng Dalea told her to be obedient, as it was not the time to throw tantrums. Crying, Liu Jihan pleaded not to leave them alone. Cheng Dalea said that it would get too hard if they went together, and besides, their target was him, and when it was safe, he would find her. As Liu Jihan's tantrums were about to end, she told him that it was settled and he should make sure not to forget about her. She reached for Cheng Dalea and kissed him. Xiaoda's excitement showed as she said to Su Ying to look and to control herself. She yelled at Liu Jihan, saying that was enough, as there was no time for being lovey-dovey. She pushed Liu Jihan away, telling her to move. However, Liu Jihan was still sobbing. Cheng Dalea coughed to gather all their attention. He announced that the rest of his men were all set. Cheng Dalea continued, saying that there were only a few of them left, and all of them had the highest fighting power among the mountain bandits. Liu Bei, Jiang Fei, Guan Yu, and Zhao Zilong, as well as Lin Xiaoyu, Lin Chong, Qin Man, and Zhu Shenji, listened to Cheng Dalea. Cheng Dalea ordered them to give their men time to retreat. His face distorted as he asked Zhu Shenji what he was doing there. Zhu Shenji answered that he would go with him. Cheng Dale's hands crossed his face, and he thought that it was late for Zhu Shenji to follow the others. He agreed to Zhu Shenji and said that he and Qin Man would ride on the same horse, otherwise, he would easily fall behind. Cheng Dale turned his attention to the Taoist master and his disciple, thanking him for his help today and asking him that he should also leave as it was not safe to stay with them. The master bowed and said, "If the Green Mountain remains unchanged and the stream of water is crystal clear, the Taoist priest could see the future empire and will still be able to hear the name of Cheng family." Cheng Dale gave him a good laugh as he clasped both of his hands and said that he thought of it as a farewell blessing. The disciple watched and wondered how Cheng Dale could still laugh in that kind of situation. Cheng Dale noticed the disciple and asked who he was. The master responded while patting the head of the disciple that it was his apprentice, Hong Chen, as he continued that they would meet again in the future in Jianghu someday and wished him to take care. The lottery machine information popped up as Hong Chen's age was just 14. However, his skills and experience were still unknown. Cheng Dale claimed that the two master and apprentice were really mysterious. As he saw them leave, Cheng Dale was asked by one of his men where they would go. Cheng Dale said that the rest of their mountain fortress brothers were fleeing in the north, and he thought of where they were going. He said that they were heading west. Somewhere in the Qingniu mountain, a group of people gathered. A soldier reported to Kai Degang that the road was closed, but their target hadn't yet appeared, and wondered if they could be aware of them. Kai Degang ordered his men to scout again. Suddenly, Cheng Dale and his men came running with a horse. He greeted Kai Degang and told him that he was coming. Kai Degang, anxious, said that he was finally here. Cheng Dale asked him what was wrong, why he was so serious, to which Kai Degang stutteringly answered nothing. He giggled and asked Cheng Dale and said why was he so slow as Yang Longting sent him to pick him up. He also asked where the other brothers of his mountain fortress were and how come only a few of his brothers came. Cheng Dale answered that they're dressing up on the mountain fortress, as they're all rude people who haven't seen the world, and that they're so excited that they didn't sleep all night thinking about what to wear today. He told Kai Gang that he's afraid that young Longting was waiting for them anxiously and asked that they should come over first. Kai Gang awkwardly told Cheng Dale that it is best for him not to call his lord by his name. However, Cheng Dale just laughed it off and said that it was his fault, as it should be the king of Yuzhu, or it's my lord, as they'll become city lords of their own people in the future. Kai Gang asked him, since they met, to come with him as his lord was waiting for him, to which Cheng Dale answered that they're going together. As they both walked side by side, Cheng Dale said that he's going to pay a formal visit to his lord today, and he's going to give him a sword which was seized from a prince of the Ring tribe. He asked him if he would help him check if the sword is suitable for his lord. Furious, Kai Gang asked which sword was it and if he could show it to him. Cheng Dale's face darkened as he unsheathed the sword, telling Kai Gang what the sword was called. He struck Kai Gang with the sword as he told that the sword's name was the Straightforward Sword. Blood splashed out of Kai Gang's neck. As he fell off his horse, he croaked one last time, saying that it was a good sword. Cheng Dale turned to his men, asking them to kill all of them. He called for Lin Xiaoyu and Lin Chong to break the formation charge, to which the both did so. Lin Chong unleashed his 7-fold wave breaker spear, while Lin Xiaoyu did the 5-fold wave breaker spear. The soldiers were quickly demolished as Zhao Zhilong's white bird pilgrim spear pierced through them. Another soldier was hit by Cheng Dale's Alfie's fast sword straightforward skill. Kinman, while Zhu Shenji rode on his back, asked Cheng Dale what way it was. Cheng Dale told him not to get attached to the battle and go west. A group of soldiers chased after them as they shouted to get Cheng Dale, no matter dead or alive. Like a wolf pack that smelled meat, the ambushers around the area came out. Cheng Dale successfully attracted his pursuers to the west. Yuzhu City, Fallen Leaf City, Red Sand City, North Town City, and Iron River City were 5 cities that had a total of more than 30,000 troops. As Cheng Dale's group was still chased, he ordered his men not to let them form an encircling net and to go to the mountains, while the soldiers were ordered to advance in full force and outflank and to kill the traitor Cheng Dale. Zhang Fei informed them that Lin Xiaoyu and Lin Chong were surrounded. Lin Chong raised the army with his wave breaker spear army breaker skill. Lin Xiaoyu yelled, telling Cheng Dale to get out and not to worry about them. With his face darkened, Lin Xiaoyu told them not to look back. Struggling, Lin Chong suggested to Lin Xiaoyu that they would break out from the other direction, distracting some of their pursuers. Meanwhile, the 3rd Army of Fallen Leaf City had arrived, and the 7th Army of Red Sand City also arrived as they were ordered to surround them. Another man announced that the 1st, 5th, and 6th armies of Yuzhu City had arrived while raising their banners. The soldiers chanted to kill the traitor Cheng Dale, while the others were ordered to shoot arrows as the city lord had ordered them to capture them alive. Cheng Dale's group arrived in some narrow way. Zhang Fei grinned as he felt interested that there were more and more pursuers. Huan Yu, on the other hand, told them not to stay in the plain and to go into the deep mountains. Zhao Zilong added that there's a fork road ahead and that he'll wait for his brother and they'll distract the pursuers. He told Cheng Dale to take the opportunity to enter the mountain, while Liu Bei told them to turn left and bid his farewell to Cheng Dale. The group was separated in 2 as the soldiers were still chasing them. Cheng Dale swooped into the mountain forests, and his trail was hard to find. The 30,000 troops camped at the bottom of the mountain were sealing the intersection out of the mountain. The army surrounded the mountain layer by layer, advancing and gradually narrowing the blockade. The evacuation of the mountain bandits went smoothly. Most of them had already withdrawn from the Yuzhu area. 3 days later, the blockade left only a few mountain ranges. As night fell on the 3rd day, a few soldiers were holding torches, and someone yelled to kill Cheng Dale. No matter what, they had to finish him off. An order came that those who were successful killers would be rewarded with 100 taels of gold and would secure the right to be a general. Whoever found Cheng Dale would be rewarded with 100 taels of silver and become a commander of 100 soldiers, which made them drop their jaws. In a hidden cave somewhere in the blockade circle, Cheng Dale informed his men that he didn't know what had happened to Lin Xiaoyu and whether they were in danger or not. Zhu Shenji retorted that the officers and soldiers had come after them, believing that Lin Xiaoyu should have escaped while bandaging Kinman. Concerned, Cheng Dale asked Kinman if he could see how his injuries were, to which Kinman answered that he could hold it and it was no big deal. However, Cheng Dale still insisted on letting him see. Then suddenly a hand hit Kinman's nape, and Kinman's face darkened as he fell to the ground. Zhu Shenji was shocked and called out to Cheng Dale. Cheng Dale interrupted, saying that the soldiers were, in fact, coming for him, believing that if he left, they would be safe. Zhu Shenji argued and told him not to do anything stupid, that if they didn't go together, he might not be able to get out. Cheng Dalei also snapped Zhu Shenji's neck, making him unconscious. As Zhu Shenji's sight faded, he heard Cheng Dalei saying that after he lured the soldiers away, he should get the opportunity to leave. Zhu Shenji's sight faded slowly as he called his village master in his thoughts. At some part of the mountain, there was a hidden cave. The soldiers were yelling to charge. Cheng Dalei held his sword in front of him as he rode his horse charging towards the soldiers. He yelled at them, saying to come and kill him. The soldiers mumbled that Cheng Dalei was coming, while someone ordered for the spearmen to advance and surround him. Another command arrived to shoot the arrows as the city lord gave orders that if they killed Cheng Dalei, they would get a high position with high pay and bring honor to their ancestors. However, Cheng Dalei charged at them without stopping, and the soldiers muttered that it was not good as their leader had been beheaded. Cheng Dalei leaped towards a group of soldiers, making his way into a narrow road, while the soldiers yelled to go after him as he was breaking out, while the others were ordered to send the signals and chase him and shoot the arrows. A fireworks exploded in the sky, making the soldiers across the mountain notice as they believed that they had found the target over that area. Another soldier said to the others to leave some men to block the road. A voice added telling the Third Army to hurry and head over there. While escaping, a soldier told his men to listen to the order. The Fifth Army troops should go around the forest valley ahead to intercept Cheng Dalei. Cheng Dalei held onto his horse tightly as he was getting away from the soldiers. Cheng Dalei ran wildly, breaking out of the siege and led the pursuers to the west and fled to a mountain forest. His horse huffed in exhaustion, and moments later its movement began to be so clumsy, making Cheng Dalei fall to the ground. Cheng Dalei kneeled down as he mumbled to his horse that he had been running wild for several days and it hadn't been easy for him to hold up till now. As he patted his horse, Cheng Dalei said that he'd better run for his life, to which the horse neighed. Cheng Dalei stood up and walked forward, mumbling that if he didn't die, they would meet again, leaving his horse behind. The horse whinnied loudly. Cheng Dalei, without looking back, moved forward. 30,000 officers and soldiers surrounded the mountain only to kill one person. Perhaps this would become a one and only unique history of the empire. Meanwhile, an officer ordered his men to search carefully and thoroughly and not miss a single tree or rock, while one notified the soldiers to narrow the area and set up roadblocks not to let him break out. A report came, bearing that General Hua's body had been found, and the entire squad he was leading was killed. Young Longting's eyes widened as he was in disbelief about General Hua's death and also wondered how they were all killed when he had dozens of men under him. The report continued that all of them were slaughtered and cut in the throat with a sword, and everyone was killed by a single sword. One officer added that Lei Zhen of Yuzhou, Zhang Lemon of Fallen Leaves City, Han Bao of Red Sand, Dong Fengmeng of Bizan, and Sun Lianshan of Iron River were all dead, claiming that Cheng Dalei was actually good. While another one of the officers also said that those were the strongest people of all cities. The Ring tribe failed to kill them, but they died under Cheng Dalei's sword. Another man also believed that Cheng Dalei's strength was not weak if he could wipe out 100,000 cavalry of the Ring tribe in one fell swoop, while the other suggested that they stop sending more people as it's just asking their men to die. While the other said that they should continue to surround the mountain until Cheng Dalei forces out to show himself, and they'll shoot 1,000,000 arrows at him as he would certainly die. Enraged, Yang Longting slammed his hands on the table as he cursed. With a look of irritation, he told all of the men under him that Cheng Dalei is all alone now and told them that they're a bunch of losers. He ordered all the soldiers to go into the mountains and surround him, as he didn't believe he could grow wings and fly, to which the soldiers obliged. Meanwhile at the mountain, an officer commanded his men to go up the hills and search well, not leaving their groups. After searching the mountain for 7 days, Cheng Dalei was finally forced out. A sword clashed. As Cheng Dalei fought a soldier while his hand was pierced with an arrow, he managed to cut 2 soldiers. Quite a few blood splattered from one soldier. The men were in shock as they couldn't believe that he also killed General Liu too, while the other said that another one was also killed. Wounded and exhausted, Cheng Dalei knelt down holding his axe to balance himself while on his other hand was his sword. On the edge of death, one soldier told him that he already had no way out, as the soldier continued saying that resistance is futile, promising that they would keep his whole body intact if he finished himself. Cheng Dalei spoke, questioning them if he had no way out. He rose and told the soldiers who were pointing arrows at him if they had heard of a kind of superb martial art called the Phoenix, colorful body flying without wings. As he spread his arms like one surrendering, he said that hearts were linked as one. And he mentioned the fusion skill system. A system notification popped up and warned him that fusion function was available. but forced use would consume the system sprite's original power. After using it, the system genie would dissipate after a few days. After learning about the fusion, Cheng Dale asked to cancel the fusion. However, the system called Cheng Dale while a warning kept intensifying. She told him not to cancel the fusion and said that if he had used his fuses earlier, he would have been able to escape long ago. He wouldn't have to wait until this desperate situation to use it, and she wondered what he was hesitating for. All was falling, Cheng Dale answered, believing that she would disappear if he had used it. An officer ordered the killing of Cheng Dale. Hart continued, saying that if it weren't for him, she wouldn't have been born, and if he died, she would also disappear from the world. She told him to take it, as it was her last source of strength, making Cheng Dale glow in bright light. Cheng Dale apologized to her in his thoughts. Hart said that when she's gone, he doesn't have to worry and should reset the system quickly, and at that time, a new system sprite will be born. She continued that maybe the new sprite would understand him better than she did. The soldiers above the cliff were ordered to release their arrows. As a barrage of arrows fell down, hitting Cheng Dale, Hart bid her farewell to him. The fusion skill system spirit was capable of trampling the world of martial arts. Using Phoenix flying without wings was just like dancing in the sky. As Cheng Dale was dodging the arrows, he stepped lightly on a passing bird. Confused, the bird as some of its feathers fell. Rumor had it that mountain bandit Cheng Dale had jumped into the 10,000 feet cliff while walking on the wind in the rain of arrows. 30,000 soldiers searched for his body for 10 consecutive days, but no trace of him was found.